May 2nd, 2011, in the darkness of night, a special Navy SEAL team lands quietly, entering a hidden world filled with death. Their target? The most wanted man in the world. But how did we reach this point? Who was Osama bin Laden? And why did he become the world's most feared terrorist? Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a hot day in 1957, a child is born into a wealthy and powerful family, Osama bin Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden. But he wasn't just any child, he belonged to one of the richest and most influential families in Saudi Arabia. His father, Mohammed bin Laden, was a construction tycoon and a close associate of the Saudi royal family. This was a time when Saudi Arabia was thriving with oil wealth and money was flowing everywhere. Osama deeply loved his mother, Alia Ghanem, but his father was a strict and authoritative man. At just 11 years old, Osama was separated from his mother because his father wanted to shape him into a disciplined and tough individual from a young age. Osama was one of more than 50 children his father had. Yet he still stood out from the rest. Osama's childhood was like that of a royal prince. He studied in madrasas and private schools where he was taught Islamic teachings and a conservative way of thinking. He learned the Quran and the principles of Islam, and this is where an unusual passion began to grow within him. He was not like other children. While others played and enjoyed their childhood, Osama would sit alone, reading the Quran, diving into Islamic history, and becoming deeply influenced by stories of Islamic warriors. But the real twist in his life came in 1979 when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. There was outrage across the Muslim world, and a new era of jihad began. Osama, who was just 22 years old, wanted to be part of this movement. Using his family's wealth and influence, he decided to support the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. When he first arrived in Peshawar, he wasn't just a traveler, he was part of a mission. There, he met the famous jihad leader, Abdullah Azzam, who further radicalized him. Azzam convinced him that this wasn't just a war, it was a battle for the survival of Islam. This was the turning point when Osama's way of thinking became even more extreme. If Osama had never gone to Afghanistan, what would have happened? Would he have just become another Saudi business tycoon? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. He didn't just provide money, he jumped into the war himself. In the jungles of Jalalabad, Khost and Lagman, Osama was no longer just a financer. He had become a leader. His strength and bravery made him famous among the Mujahideen. He even formed his own militant force that waited only for his commands. As time passed, Osama's vision of jihad evolved. After the Soviet Union's defeat and the Mujahideen's victory, he realized this was just the beginning. His next mission, to implement Islamic law worldwide and eliminate anyone who stood in the way. This marked the beginning of a new era, an era that would not be limited to Afghanistan but would spread fear and terror across the world. (1988) In a hidden house in Peshawar, a few men gather. These are not ordinary men, but the ones about to begin a new era of jihad. Their leader, Osama bin Laden. This was the day when the foundation of the world's most dangerous terrorist network was laid, al-Qaeda. After the defeat of the Soviet Union, a new passion grew within Osama bin Laden. He believed that not just Afghanistan, but the entire world needed to be brought under Islamic rule. This belief was no longer just a dream, but a mission. He began training fighters for jihad, not just from one country, but from all over the world. Imagine if al-Qaeda had never formed, would events like the 9/11 attacks ever have happened? Would the world be safer today? What do you think? In the first year itself, al-Qaeda began setting up training camps. In Afghanistan and Sudan, new recruits were taught how to fight, make bombs, and carry out suicide attacks. This was no longer just a militant group. It was becoming an organized terrorist network. In 1992, al-Qaeda carried out its first major attack, a bomb blast at a hotel in Yemen where American soldiers were staying. This was just the beginning. In 1998, al-Qaeda launched its biggest and most terrifying attack, bombing the US embassies in East Africa, killing over 200 people. These attacks sent a new message to the world. Osama bin Laden was no longer just a problem for Afghanistan. He had become a global terrorist. The world at that time couldn't understand that these weren't just small events, but part of a larger mission. However, no one could predict what was about to happen. A devastating attack that would change the course of history. September 11th. On September 11th, 2001, at 8:46 a.m., a Boeing 767 jet traveling at full speed crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York. Smoke, screams, and destruction filled the air before people could comprehend what was happening. Just 17 minutes later, another plane crashes into the South Tower. This was no accident. It was a carefully planned terror attack, one that shook the entire world. 19 hijackers from al-Qaeda took control of 4 commercial planes. 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center, one into the Pentagon, and the 4th, originally meant to target the White House or Capitol, crashed into a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back against the hijackers. On that day, America witnessed the deadliest terror attack in its history, with over 3,000 people losing their lives. This attack didn't just affect one country, it impacted the entire world. In its aftermath, America launched the War on Terror, and Osama bin Laden became the most wanted man on the planet. This wasn't just a day, it was the moment that completely changed the global political landscape, security measures, and the fight against terrorism. After September 11th, America was no longer just a country. It had become a raging inferno, determined to achieve one thing: Osama bin Laden's head. FBI, CIA, and Pentagon officials all focused on the same mission: capture Osama, dead or alive. America unleashed its full war machinery on Afghanistan. Cruise missiles, bombers, and special forces were everywhere, all searching for him. There was a belief that Osama might be hiding in the mountainous Tora Bora region. The US dropped laser-guided bombs on the area, but Osama vanished like a shadow. He was now on an even more dangerous mission, seeking a place where America's reach couldn't touch him. Abbottabad, Pakistan, May 1st, 2011. A secret mission was underway at a specific location. America's deadliest fighting force, Navy SEAL Team 6, had been sent to eliminate a figure that had taken 10 years for America to capture: Osama bin Laden. The SEALs helicopters quietly approached Osama's compound. One helicopter crashed due to a mechanical failure, but the mission continued. The SEALs began entering the compound one by one. Darkness, screams, and the sound of machine guns. Within minutes, the compound had turned into a battlefield. Osama bin Laden was in his room. As soon as the SEALs reached him, he tried to flee, but with just 2 shots, one to the chest, one to the head, the world's most dangerous terrorist was no more. The SEALs identified his body, performed a DNA test, and once confirmed, they loaded his remains onto a helicopter. The mission lasted only 40 minutes, but those 40 minutes would go down in history. That same night, Osama's body was buried at sea in the Arabian Sea, and America made it clear to the world, justice has been served. Osama bin Laden's death wasn't just the end of one individual, it marked the end of an era. America called it its greatest victory, but it was just the beginning of another chapter. If Osama hadn't been found in Pakistan, what would have happened? Could he have remained hidden for so long? Share your thoughts in the comments. Immediately following his death, there was infighting within al-Qaeda. Several commanders began fighting for leadership. America and its allies took advantage of this and intensified operations against al-Qaeda. While al-Qaeda weakened, Osama's death also gave rise to new terrorist groups. Groups like ISIS emerged, adopting even more dangerous strategies than Osama's. For Pakistan, it was a huge shock. After the Abbottabad operation, relations between America and Pakistan soured. Pakistan was accused of harboring Osama. Today, Osama bin Laden's name is not just a part of history, it remains a figure that forever changed the world. His death weakened al-Qaeda, but the seeds of terrorism he helped plant still have lingering effects in various parts of the world. Osama bin Laden's story ends here, but the world is still full of shocking crimes and mysteries, like the case of Virginia McCullough, a story that will leave you speechless. Watch it now by clicking here.